What happened with you were retired? How long before you got a call from the White House about General Motors?
I'd been retired about 2 or 3 years, I guess. Actually, I was at an Exxon board meeting when I got that call, and somebody called and said, we'd like for you to consider coming and helping General Motors get out of bankruptcy. And I said, I don't know anything about cars. And they said, yeah, but you know about companies. And two companies were sort of comparable in size. So I said, let me think about it. And I thought about it. And then the White House called back and said, you really need to look at this as a service to your country. Wasn't much money involved. In fact, none at the time. And when they put it that way, I said, well, I still got a little energy. I think I can help General Motors. So I said, okay.
So you were there 3 years?
A little over 2 years.
In the book, you talk about the decision to accept the role at General Motors. And it was, a business opportunity, but that for you, it was very personal. Why?
Well, it was personal because I wanted to see those people succeed. And, when you're beaten down, you don't feel good about things. For me, it was personal. I wanted to see those folks there win again. And I think that's the greatest feeling of all, when you feel like you've contributed, done something, and something has worked, and you're responsible for something, and you're accountable for it. I think that works, and I wanted to see that happen at GM. It's a great company. I mean, it's been part of the fabric of the United States. It's been through wars. It's made refrigerators. It's done everything. It's one of the great names in manufacturing. We just couldn't let that go away.
What the first thing you do? I mean, they were on the verge of bankruptcy, or had they?
They were bankrupt.
They were bankrupt.
Yes, they were in
and
Chapter
had declared.
11. Yes, and had declared.
And so, I mean, just to get your arms around it, what did you do the first week? I mean, who'd you get briefed by? What'd you try to find out?
Well, I called all the senior managers together on my first or second day there, and just listened to them and asked them questions like, why did we go bankrupt? And got answers like, we don't know why we went bankrupt. We were doing everything right. And I said, well, that can't very well be because, Ford didn't go bankrupt. Volkswagen didn't go bankrupt. So just kind of assessed the management people there, Kent, and then started to make some changes and define what General Motors wanted to be. It was a pretty complicated, confused, bureaucratic company without much responsibility at any level. And we came up with a slogan, well, we want to design, build, and sell the best cars. That's pretty simple. That's easy to understand.
Prior to that, you had a policy. They had a policy manual.
Yes.
How big was the policy manual?
It was, I don't know, a couple of feet paper. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't that big, but it was very confusing.
Hundreds of pages.
Yes, it was very confusing.
And so you changed that to say we want to
design, build, and sell the world's best vehicles.
Yeah. That's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple.
If it fit within that category, do it. And if it didn't fit, well, don't do it.
And there were really good people at GM. We had to make some upper management changes and change a lot of things quickly, but it really didn't take long because the way people reacted. We went from losing money, as I remember, to making $1 billion in 3 or 4 months.
There was a report, and this was mentioned in your book, that the White House had told you or something that they were afraid that General Motors was not fixable.
Yeah, well, they were wrong.
And did you see that report or somebody tell you about it?
Somebody told me about that, and there were that kind of scuttlebutt everywhere. But General Motors was very fixable. I mean, it was It was about people and management abilities and aiming at a priority target and going and doing it. It was quick.
You had not been at General Motors very long, and you found out that they were going to move some of the employees to another campus some 30 miles away,
right,
instead of from downtown Detroit.
Yeah, we were headquartered in what they call the Hance, which is on the Detroit River, downtown Detroit. And it hadn't been there very long when it leaked out that all the employees were going to leave and go to a location 30 miles away, as you said. And I asked why, and nobody could give me a very good answer to that. So I said, well, we're not going. We're canceling that today. And that caused a little consternation, but turned out okay. We stayed at the Hance. So
you were known to be around in the Hance Center, and go in offices and meet people and talk to them, and even went to UAW headquarters one time.
Yeah.
Tell me about why you did that and how it worked and how it benefited or didn't benefit the company.
Well, General Motors had I guess, not a good relationship necessarily with United Auto Workers. And so I thought I'd just go. AT&T is heavily unionized, and I felt comfortable with that. My dad was a union guy. I'd grown up with that. Just go talk to Ron, who was the president of UAW. And we went and talked and got acquainted, and I liked him. I think he liked me, and we decided, I said, well, we must want the same thing, a successful company so you can pay your employees and so we can be successful. We agreed on that and became good friends and worked together to do that. And then it's just my style of management to walk around and see what people's morale is, what's on their mind, what's going on. You can find out a lot of things by asking questions. I did a lot of that.
One time you were speaking at Texas Tech when you were General Motors, and we dropped in unannounced at the Alderson Cadillac.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, they started jumping when they saw you out there.
I remember that.
And one of the funniest things, they were, hey, how you doing? Can we do anything? You said, why are you selling those Lexus next door?
Yeah.
You want to stay with selling those Cadillacs. And today, you still drive a Cadillac.
You bet.
And
you bet. I'm still a great fan of the company.
You're loyal to AT&T and to General Motors.
I am.
I think one of the greatest things is just what you did with the businesses that did business with you. They better be buying General Motors car or they weren't going to do business.
That's right.
You kept their feet to the fire.
I said, if you want to loan us money, you buy our cars.
Did anybody push back or fail to do it?
Yeah, and I said, well, that's fine.
No hard feelings.
We'll see you later.
And that was it.
And that, yes, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. If you're going to do business with us, you're going to use our product.
Yeah.
You got to make a commitment. You're going to drive a Cadillac or Buick or whatever, or you're not going to loan us any money, and we're not going to do business with you.
What about the Buick was big, and you told me this was big in China.
It's the biggest seller in China. It's bigger than Cadillac, bigger than Chevrolet, bigger than anybody. It's a luxury car in China, and it is a great car.
Ed, there's a lot of talk about how America's lost its competitive edge. You hear it, and I hear it, and that the global economy is passing us by. What would you say to people that say that, and some that believe it here in the United States? What would you say?
I say they don't know what they're talking about. We may lag in one place or two, but I think if you look across the entire front, I think we're still in the front, and I think we will be for a long time.
Let's talk a little about electric cars. Volt. Y'all were kind of one of the early pioneers in that regard.
Yeah.
And there's more coming about. What made you decide to get in that business, and what does that business look like in the future?
Well, the first vehicle out was a Volt, VOLT, And I got to drive it. It's kind of like, no noise. But I think you assess climate change, climate control, the concern about that, the change in technologies on batteries, interest in it seemed like a good place to go, or at least put your toe in the water. And we did that. And, it's obviously grown quite a bit with General Motors and Tesla and others. So it's got a foothold, and technology's getting better and better.
You and Linda have two daughters. One lives here in San Antonio.
Right.
And one lives in Dallas.
Right.
Who I know well, Jessica Thorne. She's a good lawyer, does a great job.
Well,
she's Texas Tech. She's a Texas Tech girl.
Texas Tech law grad.
And very proud of her. The engineering school is named after you.
Right.
And someone asked me if that was based on you having the highest grade point ever come out of Texas Tech. Is that the reason?
No, I may have had the lowest. I don't.
You didn't have the lowest.
I told you earlier, I just wanted to get out of school.
Our friend Mac Pogue, he graduated from Texas Tech, and he had to pass an English course he had flunked, and he had to pass it his last semester, and the grades weren't posted, so he started driving to Dallas. He had a job with Trammell Crow Company if he passed.
Yeah.
And it just gnawed on him, and so he stopped in Idalou and called the teacher. Went to a phone booth and called the teacher, and he told her, I've got a job with Trammell Crow Company, big real estate company, but if I don't pass English, I don't get the job. And he said, I just checking to see when the grades will be done. She said, well, I hadn't had a chance to grade all the papers. And he said, what should I do? And she said, Mr. Pogue, keep driving.
That's a good story.
And he did. And he later gave scholarship in her name.
That's neat.
And
that's a good story.
She took good care of him.
She did.
We had some fraternity brothers that did well. Robert Brown,
very well,
has been highly successful,
and we're still in touch with him. He's doing well.
Robert, he was in convenience stores, made a lot of money doing that. But one time, he got into the redfish business. And he had a redfish farm. They'd grow redfish down at Corpus. And he had the people that put the thing together, they had a meteorologist work for him. And he asked him, are there any problems, free? And he said, there might be 100-year freeze, but, it's probably not even that. And so he went in the business 83. In January of 83, they had the coldest they'd ever had and killed every redfish he had. And so the guy told him, you were unlucky. That was just a 100-year freeze. So he went back in the business in 84, and they had another 100-year freeze, back to back. And so they came to him and wanted him to invest again. He had 2 years and lost about $500,000 a year, he says. And so he said, well, y'all told me there's a 100-year freeze. And then how do you explain that? And the guy said, look, in 83, that was the last year of 100 years. And in 84, it was the first year of 100 years. And we need you to go back in the business and hire us. And he said, I believe I'll pass. And so he got out of the redfish business, but he went on to buy the Budweiser distributorship in El Paso and southern New Mexico, and had that for many years and was very successful.
Very successful.
Yeah. But we had others that, John Denver was John Duchendorf.
Knew him well.
And, we thought he could sing pretty good, but he was going to drop out his senior year and go to Knott's Berry Farm and sing, and I told him not to. There was no future in it. And he reminded me of that one night at the Capitol Center in Washington, D.C., when they had 20,000 people paying outrageous rates to hear him sing.
Did pretty good, didn't he?
He did. He told my children, if I'd listened to your dad, I'd be an architect in Dallas or Houston. I said, you'd be making big money.
Yeah, I remember John well.
And he was a good person and very successful, very successful. Well, Ed, thank you very much.
You bet.